So this is how to solve a quadratic equation using the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2a. So the first equation is 2x squared minus 8x minus 24 equals 0. And you label them A, B, and C. And if it's not set equal to 0, you have to do that first, but this one already is. So then you plug those into the equation. So that would be x equals minus negative 8 square root of negative 8 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 24 times 2. Then for step 3, you simplify it. So negative 8 times a negative equals a positive 8, which is plus or minus negative 8 times negative 8 because it's squared. So that would be 64 minus 4 times 2 times 24, which equals negative 192 over 2 times 2, which is 4. So that simplified even more is 8 plus or minus 256 over 4. And then the square root of 256 is 16, so that is 8 plus or minus 16 over 4. And then 8 plus 16 is 24 over 4. And then 8 minus 16 is negative 8 over 4, which then equals negative 2 and negative 6. For this equation, we have negative 3x squared plus 6x minus 5. And you have to set it equal to 0, so it ends up being negative 3x squared plus 6x plus 5 equals 0. And then that's your A, B, and your C. Then you plug it in and you have x equals negative 6 plus or minus 6 squared minus 4 times negative 3 times 5. And that is over 2 times negative 3. So then, for step 4, you plug and you just simplify it. So 6 times 6 is 36. And 4 times negative 3 times 5 equals 60. And then these end up equaling 96 over negative 6. So then you bring it down here again for step 5 and you do negative 6 plus square root of 4 and 6 over negative 6, which ends up giving you x equals negative 3 plus or minus 2 square root of 6 over negative 3, because then you simplify 4 square root of 6, or x equals 3 plus or minus 2 square root of 6 over 3. So for this one, the equation is 11x squared minus 9x minus 1 equals 0. So that's A, B, and C. So 11 equals A, B equals -9, and C equals -1. So then you plug that in. So x equals negative times -9 plus or minus -9 squared minus 4. Sorry, 11 times -1 over 11 times 2. So then negative times a negative is a positive, so x equals 9 plus or minus 81 plus 44. Then that is over 22. So then you simplify that even more, so it's x equals 9 plus or minus 125 over 22. So then the square root of 125 is 5 square root of 5. So the answer is x equals 9 plus or minus 5 square root of 5.